PerkyPlanes and RC here, operating at 2.4 gigahertz. I got my good old coffee. Well, hey guys. Basically, things just didn't quite pan out this week as far as content, as far as video stuff and whatnot. I feel like I'm kind of slacking a little bit this week, mainly because honestly, a lot of us have been under the weather. There's been, and even I'm a little congested today. But anyways, no, just I mean, there'll still be stuff, but maybe not what I was kind of hoping to get out there. But there's always the next time, right? So, anyways, I wanted to kind of share an experience here with this K&B 61. I had featured it just recently, a few videos back, and I was questioning the carb on it, which to me is like a big old spring, basically. And I'd never seen a carb like that, or high-speed needle, excuse me. Never seen a high-speed needle quite like that. So I was very confused as far as, is that legit? Will that work? What's the story with that? So, but let me kind of mention that I went out to the field yesterday just to kind of give this thing a run, and maybe another glow engine or two, just to see what would happen. And it was not my day for sure, and there's a couple reasons why it wasn't my day. Number one, I'll go and get this one out of the way. Number one is I completely forgot that here I am running large plumbing, so to speak, fuel tank and fuel tubing, and large clunk and everything, and trying to run small engines like this. So yeah, I just completely had a brain fart and wasn't even thinking. And yeah, those don't work out too well. It basically floods everything. So that's one thing that I eventually later realized, that I needed to start providing smaller tubing and smaller tanks and all this kind of stuff with the engines I got, because I did flood one of them real bad, and it just hit me at that point, like, oh, that's what's wrong. So, but anyways, I want to talk about this one especially too. And here's a little brief clip of it, of me with it at the field. But basically, I want to talk about a couple things here with this particular engine. Not just the carb, but we will talk about that too. One thing is that this is a metal throttle arm on that side of the carb. And it actually has, I probably can't show it on the video too well. I'll try to. But it's actually got a small brake in it. A small brake where your push rod or clevis or whatever would actually go. For engine testing purposes, like on a stand, I'd probably be okay with that. But I'm not putting it on a plane, basically, in that kind of condition. So that's one thing I'll need to address and replace on this guy. The other thing too, and the big one, of course, is the carb itself. Now, like I said, I had questions about whether or not that was a legit carb or a legit high-speed needle. So, and actually, I went ahead and took the needle out just to see. And I'll go and show you guys as well that, from what I can tell, I think it's legit. Even though it's one I just never seen before. But let me back it out here all the way, and we'll show you. There we go. So, I don't know how well that's going to show up on the camera, but yeah, I mean, that to me looks pretty legit, as far as I can tell. Now, the problem that I had with it at the field is I backed it out initially just 2 turns. I did a little carb air test there, and I just backed it out 2 turns for starters. I figured that'd probably be okay, it was more like 2.5 turns. So backed it out 2 turns or 2.5 turns, and the problem I had with it, and this was something else I didn't trust either, was it was so super loose that I just had these thoughts go through my head that while this engine's running, that thing's going to be vibrating, and it's going to cause that needle just to sit there, move, basically, while it really shouldn't. Um, it's just going to cause that needle just to sort of just kind of wobble back and forth and stuff. And to me, that's not good, of course. You want something to kind of, when you unscrew it to whatever position, you want it to reliably stay in that position, regardless of the engine vibrating or anything. You want it to kind of stay in that position. But this thing, obviously, would be the case. It would sit there and just vibrate back and forth and probably work its way loose, at that point. So I still feel like the carb needs addressed on this. Whoever had it initially did do the fuel tubing trick here. I don't know if you could see it real well, but there's a little piece of fuel tubing right there below the actual where you grab a hold of it to turn it, or at least in that section right there. So there is a small piece of fuel tubing right there. So it does kind of help, with leaks and whatnot. But it really, it's not going to help the when you back it out to the position you want it at. So again, like I said, as it's running, it's going to sit there and probably wobble, and change positions and cause your, it's going to go in and out of tune a lot. In fact, if it took, say 3.5 turns to kind of get it to where it needs to be, it's still going to move, and can't have that. That's obviously not going to work. So the carb still needs to be addressed on this thing, as far as like the throttle arm and just the high-speed needle itself. So not sure what we're going to do. I can look around to see if there's any, if I can find replacement parts. I know somebody out there mentioned Makoa, so I can check them out, as far as a replacement carb for it. I have acquired some other K&B engines that have more traditional looking high-speed needles. So again, not sure what's going on there with that. Oh, and this one did come with a very nice top flight 11/8 prop. So how cool is that? So anyways, still going to need to do some figuring out with this guy to see what's going on with it. So yeah, not sure, but I think we're kind of back to the drawing board on it. Even though I tried to give it a good run, but it ain't going to run it's not going to run if the high-speed needle is going to move on you, and obviously not going to run if I if I flood the engine. So, but anyways, just thought I would share that little piece with you guys. It's starting to get pretty super cold out there now, so I don't know how much running we'll be doing, but hopefully we'll get this thing up and going here at some point. But anyways, that's all for me, guys. I want to thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.